Hello there, welcome to Monday's Look North. Our top story tonight. How a boom in holidaying at home is putting pressure on Yorkshire's beauty spots and rural communities.
People don't seem to care. They block farm gates, they block anything. One of the most beautiful spots in North Yorkshire, but respect it, look after it, love it like we do.
We'll be hearing from business owners in the Dales who rely on tourism for their livelihoods. Also in Monday's Look North. Police refer themselves to the force watchdog after the death of a woman in Baildon. We'll tell you why the cost of your sausage and bacon are going through the roof. And the village sport, where you can quite literally end up with egg on your face.
And there's been one or two lively showers around today. This was a view from Ilkley Moor. What about the rest of the week? Join me for that week ahead forecast.
Hello, thanks for your company this evening. Look at this, long queues to cross the channel, delays at airports. As the school holidays get underway, you might be tempted to stay closer to home because of this. But now a new report is warning about the impact of tourism in parts of Yorkshire after residents complained of being under siege because of the staycation boom. Councillors want more measures in place to help popular areas cope with more visitors. Olivia Richwald has this.
The summer holidays have arrived in the Yorkshire Dales, and so have plenty of tourists and day trippers.
We've come from Sunderland. We got here Saturday morning.
We've come from Salford and we're staying for a week.
We've come from Lincolnshire.
We have been from West London and it's been from the last 4 days.
This is probably about the fourth or fifth time we've been to the Yorkshire Dales. It's fantastic. Kids love it.
The pandemic saw a boom in staycations and visits to the Yorkshire Dales surged. Now foreign holidays are back, but it's not always straightforward. These were the scenes to cross the Channel this weekend. This campsite near Bolton Abbey has actually benefited from the problems in Kent.
We've seen quite a lot of additional customers with everything going on in Dover, with the exceptional queues going on there. I think people have decided maybe to move away from their original plans and come and stay with us instead and enjoy a camping holiday. Morning.
Morning, guys. Hi there.
You all right?
Very well, thank you very much.
And we are noticing an awful lot of people that tried us in the pandemic for the first time. Maybe they would have usually enjoyed an abroad holiday, but came to us because that's all they could do. And now they've decided to come back camping as well as going abroad.
According to the National Park Authority, last year a quarter of visitors to the Dales were first-timers. And although that was great news for businesses, a new report to the local council says more must be done to mitigate the negative effects of tourism on local communities. These were the scenes in Burnsall 2 years ago when the village became gridlocked and it took 2 hours to get the traffic moving. Parking, litter, barbecues and access to toilets are just some of the other problems.
People don't seem to care. They block farm gates, they block anything. They just abandon their cars and go down by the river for the day. It's an absolutely beautiful spot, one of the most beautiful spots in North Yorkshire. But respect it, look after it, love it like we do.
Karen has just taken over the village tea rooms and says the community here is fantastic, many of whom often end up picking litter.
It's a beautiful place to come and the community here is just so welcoming and amazing. So it's been really surprising how busy it is, to say how small it is.
Back at Catgill Farm and staff prepare for the next guests to arrive. Until 8 years ago this was a dairy farm. Now as a campsite it employs 20 local people all year round. The Dales needs tourism. The challenge is finding the balance between benefit and harm. Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, Burnsall.
And why would people not want to holiday here? It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Figures from Visit England suggest a third of people plan to take more overnight trips in the UK during the next 12 months compared to the previous year. Now, the leader of North Yorkshire County Council wants to attract more visitors, obviously, but does accept it needs to be managed properly.
There has to be a balance. You don't want to have overcrowding. You don't want to have such an influx that people can't enjoy what it is that they've actually come to see. But I think with sensible precautions and sensible planning, we can do it. And there's no doubt that there are many people looking for a staycation break. And you only have to look at the difficulties that people have been having at airports, and now, a port like Dover, where you have gridlock and people having to sit in cars for hours on end. You don't have that when you come up to the Dales, and you don't have that when you go to the coast.
Now, no doubt the increasing cost of living is having an impact on the decisions people make during the summer holidays. So what impact is this having on tourist attractions in our region? You might remember 2 years ago, Gulliver's Valley theme park opened in Rotherham despite the pandemic. I've been back to see how they're getting on. And you opened this business in the pandemic. What have the last 2 years been like?
Last 2 years have been really tough. Uncertainty, obviously with COVID, with staff, things changing at a minute's notice. Everything has been really tough.
This will be the first summer the park can finally open to full capacity, and they're counting on it being a busy season.
Bookings are looking strong for the summer. We've just installed another 10 accommodation units over the weekend because demand for the accommodation at the moment is going through the roof.
Last year there was the staycation boom. In your experience, are you seeing many people stay here again?
Yeah, well, I think the boom's continued. I think there are other factors outside of us that are affecting that. I think the uncertainty of going away, whether it's the passport drama, the baggage, or recently the ferry sort of crisis. I think when people come to us, they know what they're going to get.
But people aren't getting as much for their buck. With inflation at a record high, families here are mindful of what they're spending.
You've all got wet bottoms!
Yeah. Has it been worth it though, mums? In terms of the cost of living, there's lots of choices people are having to make. How thoughtful are you of that when you're planning days out?
Absolutely. There's been offers on from Gulliver's, which has been fantastic. So as a family of four, we can afford to come.
Stay local, so you're not spending as much on petrol.
Days out like this, you know, it costs a lot, and then obviously they want snacks, and then they see the toys and everything like that. So it's really about budgeting, you know, all holiday to make the most of it, really.
We just try and go to cheap places. But yeah, it's definitely affected, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It's mine and Harrison's birthday present.
Happy birthday to you, and how old are you?
6.
Does that mean you've got to go on roller coasters when you're 6?
Yeah.
For Gulliver's Valley, the ride isn't over yet.
We're always conscious of how much we charge. We need a strong summer, we need strong sales to be able to allow us to do what we've got planned for the future.
Well, days out can certainly add up, can't they? If you've got 6 weeks to fill with a family of 4. We are going to have some free holiday activity ideas late in the programme, so do stay with us. I want to turn your attention to some of the day's other news, though, now. A man has been arrested on suspicion of murder after a woman died in Bradford. West Yorkshire police say they've referred themselves to the police watchdog in connection with the case. Charles Heslett has more.
The police officers are currently guarding a large cordon here at Ayr Way on Baildon on the outskirts of Bradford. Paramedics were called yesterday around 9:45 a.m. They found a young woman who was being helped by neighbours. She was taken to hospital, but sadly she was pronounced dead later on. A 27-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder. He's currently in police custody. West Yorkshire Police has also referred itself to the police watchdog, the IOPC. This was after it received an earlier report of what it's calling a linked matter from a member of the public. Now, 3 bunches of flowers have been laid at the property behind me. This is where the young victim is believed to have lived with her partner and 2 young children. I've spoken to residents living around here. They don't want to go on camera, but what they have said is they're absolutely shocked by what's happened. They only became aware of what was unfolding when the police helicopter landed in the grass behind us yesterday morning, and it really has left them feeling saddened by the whole affair.
The father of a 15-year-old boy from Bradford who died on a family hike in the Lake District has paid tribute to his sidekick and life partner's son. Sami Ahmed slipped and fell at Dow Crag early this month. His father, Khalil, said Sami just cheered everyone up with his smile, and his family is now incomplete and broken. They've started fundraising in Sami's memory. Police are investigating after reports that a fan racially abused Bradford City player during Saturday's pre-season friendly at Chesterfield. Bradford said their substitutes were subjected to discriminatory remarks by a Chesterfield fan. Both clubs say they have zero tolerance of racism. Derbyshire Police are asking anyone who has information about the incident to contact them. Now, 2 Yorkshire cities could be in the running to host the next year's Eurovision Song Contest after it was confirmed it will be held in the UK. The show couldn't be held in Ukraine, who won this year because of the war. But Sheffield and Leeds City Council have already said they'll be putting in bids, and a long list will be published later this summer. If Leeds or Sheffield are selected to host it, it will be the 2nd time for Yorkshire. The last one was in Harrogate in 1982. That would be brilliant, wouldn't it, if it was hosted here? You're watching Monday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme. With no proper rain for weeks, our reservoirs are drying up. We'll ask Paul if hosepipe bans are on the way. Now, I'm sure you'll have noticed your weekly food shop, it's getting more and more expensive, isn't it? And if you like a full English breakfast with sausage and bacon, well, listen to this. The price of pork has gone up by 80% since 2020. That's huge, isn't it? And now pig farmers in Yorkshire are calling for the government to step in to help the industry. The problems are due to the price of the lack of grain, the lack of abattoir workers and complications surrounding Brexit. Cathy Booth has this.
Well, we've been farming down here at Boroughbridge since the late 50s when my dad took the tenancy on the farm. For me, pigs have always been very enjoyable, but to be fair, this last year it has been the worst time in my life in pigs.
Brexit, the pandemic, and now a war in Ukraine, each one a hammer blow to the pig industry, leaving farmers out of pocket and facing difficult decisions for the future. Earlier this year, a shortage of abattoir workers caused by the pandemic meant thousands of pigs couldn't be sent to slaughter. Farmers had to pay to house and feed the animals as they became less and less valuable.
We've got rye, which is a cereal, and it makes up roughly 20% of the piglet's diet.
That situation has now eased, but the war has sent the price of cereals, which make up a large part of the pig's diet, skyrocketing.
So we're actually on historical highs for wheat and barley in terms of price, and the war broke out in the Ukraine, and that added another 40% to the price of those cereals. So we've had incredible hard times with a backlog of pigs that we've been feeding lots of them, which is very expensive to do, and then we've got this massive cost of production which we're not able to get back from the market.
What do you think that the government can or should do about this?
Well, they should be giving us financial support. We've seen the Scottish government help their pig producers with money. We've seen the Irish government help their producers with money. We've seen a lot of European countries help the producers with money, but we've seen nothing of that from the UK government, and that's really disappointing when your competitors are getting help.
Supermarkets pay around £1.85 per kilo for pork, but it costs around £2.35 per kilo to produce the animal, meaning that farmers like Richard are losing around £50 for every single pig they raise.
The industry can survive, and the industry will survive if the retailers, the supermarkets, pay a fair price for the product. That's ultimately what we need. Is we cannot go on with farmers losing £50 a pig. That's unsustainable, and that will see many more of them go out of business.
DEFRA said it was acutely aware of the challenges facing the industry. They gave us a statement saying, "We provided a package of measures to support our pig farmers to respond to the backlog of pigs on farms and continue to work closely with producers and retailers to support the sector. We've launched a UK-wide review of supply chain fairness in the pig sector to assist the industry further." Richard has reduced the number of pigs he farms to try to lessen the impact of rising costs. This is your family's farm, you know, your history. How does it feel to see it running down like this?
It's very sad, you know, when you've built a really good, successful business up and, you know, the market has been so difficult. But, you know, nobody owes us a living and, we've got to get on with it.
And that was Cathy Booth reporting there. Let's turn to sport now. Tanya's here. All sorts of exciting things happening.
I know, it's a heck of a week. It's a heck of a couple of weeks, in fact. But we'll start with athletics, because at the World Athletics Championships overnight, Leeds hub athlete Keely Hodgkinson won silver. She was narrowly beaten in the final of the 800 metres by the American Athing Mu, the same athlete who beat her to gold at the Olympics. Still, a great result for the 20-year-old.
I gave it everything, so close, but it's a lot closer than I was last year, so I'm grateful to be on a world podium in a world final, healthy and being able to, fight all the way, but I am a bit gutted, and to say I'm gutted with a world medal shows how far I've come.
Well, Wakefield remain at the bottom of the Super League table, but came so close to a massive upset yesterday. They were 10-0 up on the champion St Helens at the break, scoring 2 tries and bossing the first half at Bellevue. They stretched that to 12-0, but Saints clawed their way back into it to level the scores. Then Jack Wellesby got the drop goal in Golden Point extra time, which condemned Trinity to a 5th successive loss.
It's hard to take that one for all the effort. But that's how the game goes. Sometimes they ice those moments at the end, but I couldn't be prouder of my blokes, and that's by far and away our best defensive effort of the year. And hopefully we've set a platform now and set a standard.
And you can see highlights of all the weekend's action on the Super League show in a few minutes' time on the BBC iPlayer. Castleford's Adam Milner is the guest. York City Knights have won the inaugural Women's Nines competition. They beat Leeds Rhinos 7-0 in the final, having knocked out St Helens in the semi-finals. Tara Jane Stanley getting the points. It's the first time a women's rugby league title in Europe has come with prize money. Now, I'm sure it won't have escaped your attention that tomorrow night Sheffield plays host to England against Sweden in the semi-finals of the European Championships. Tonight, excitement is building as young, aspiring Lionesses take to the pitch in Doncaster. We can talk now to Besker Bell's under-13s coach Emma Stoddard. Emma, what's the mood like amongst the young kids that you're coaching there?
Oh, it's amazing. They're really excited for the game tomorrow and can't wait to see England take on Sweden.
What's it been like through the tournament? Have they been getting more and more excited as it's gone on?
Yeah, my daughter was lucky enough to go and see the Old Trafford game, but when they played the Norway game, when they won 8-0, she was ecstatic.
And so for you, who's trying to encourage, as many girls as possible to take up the game, how important is it that they can see these role models? They can see a career in football if they're really good.
Yeah, well, I coached the under-13s at Besker, and it's up and coming, and the girls really enjoy it, and we're in the Sheffield League next season. So we'll be playing teams from Rotherham, Chesterfield, Barnsley and Sheffield.
I know tonight's a big fundraiser as well. What are you raising money for?
It's a dementia charity called Home Instead that do lots of activities and help for dementia patients using sporting memories, just to get patients together.
Well, Emma, thanks ever so much for joining us. We'll let you get back to training and fingers crossed they've got more to cheer about tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Well, what a week of sport it is going to be, because the Commonwealth Games gets underway on Thursday. We have two boxers taking part. Bradford's Harris Akbar goes in as favourite for gold, having become the European champion just a few weeks ago. For Castleford's Jodie Wilkinson, it's a very different story. This is her first major event, having taken up the sport to lose weight. Both are looking forward to a home crowd in Birmingham.
I wouldn't be in this sport if I didn't want to be the best and if I didn't go for gold every time. So that's the aim, gold medal. But I'm just going to soak up and enjoy every little bit of it.
It just feels like I should be there. I'm just so confident in myself and self-belief, especially for my last tournament where I won gold. I'm just confident, that's all really. I think that was more of a mental confidence rather than anything, because physically I felt like I could always have done it, but it's just up there more than anything. Like the self-belief, like I've said, the confidence. Like I boxed the kid in the semis, so I lost her before in the Worlds actually, and going out there and beating him was just the biggest. Like I couldn't think of a happier moment I've had, and ever since then it's just been really. It's just everything's just been feeling like a dream.
Started by doing a charity event. Obviously I played rugby league from the age of 6 till 19, put a bit of weight on and things, so I wanted to lose a bit of weight, so I seen on Facebook an advertisement for a charity boxing event. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll give this a go. As soon as I walked through the gym, I absolutely loved it. A friend of mine asked me if I wanted to try amateur boxing, and I didn't know the difference then between amateur and professional, so I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll give anything a go. And then just fell in love with it, and obviously I knew that then that was for the Olympic route and stuff, so just stuck with it, eat, sleep, live and breathe it now. Coach rang me who wasn't on camp, and he was like, want to congratulate you. You're going to the Commonwealth Games. And I was just like, have you got the right person? Like, you do know you're speaking to Jodie. You're like, yeah, are you happy? I'm like, yes, of course I am. Like, I didn't even think I was going to be in the selection for it, so overwhelming and crazy, and I love it.
We always go out to tournaments, like when we were in Armenia last time. Every single Armenian lad that came out, you heard the crowd cheering. I wanted that because we've never really got to experience that, and to come home and get the experience, I think it's going to be another level. Focused on this tournament and we'll see her after.
And we'll be hearing from some of our other competitors through the week. I tell you what, it's going to be put your feet up on the sofa for the next couple of weeks.
Well, that'd be nice. We're very coordinated, aren't we, from Monday evening?
We got the pink memo. I doubt Paul did. You know what
no,
he's like.
definitely not. He's not on trend, I'm afraid, not this evening anyway. Let's go back to the summer holidays, shall we, and entertaining the children for the next 6 weeks. From today, if you're out and about in Leeds, you might start to see some strange and scaly visitors across the city centre. The Jurassic Trail is back for another year. Take a look at this. A 40-metre long Spinosaurus has been lowered into the canal this evening. There's 12 dinosaurs to hunt down, and this one has taken all day to put together to get in place so it can go hunting in the water.
So you can come into town for free and then spend what you like while you're going around the trail. But there is no admission fee for this trail. It's completely free. And I think that's probably its greatest attraction, other than the amazing dinosaurs, obviously.
The Canal and River Trust activating the waterfront, having these kind of exciting things to encourage people to come and discover their waterfronts is really important to us. And what better way than with a dinosaur in Granary Wharf?
We want to hear about all the free fun stuff available to families in our region. So if you're organising something or you've got a freebie favourite that you want to share with us and other parents, do get in touch. Email me direct, amy.garcia@bbc.co.uk, or you can tweet me @amygarciauk. I look forward to hearing all your ideas. Now here's an activity that's free. You can pencil it in your diary for next year. It's the annual Yorkshire Open Egg Throwing Championships. The event, which is in its 7th year, was held yesterday in Hindwell near Whitby. England footballer Beth Mead, who's from the village, won the first championship in 2015, so who knows? Take a look at this.
Do you take part?
No. I'm not that daft. The Gala Day has been going on since I'm out. It really must have been going on for 40 years. It's our main fundraising event of the year. A few years ago, we started struggling, and I suggested to make more money, we needed to get twice as many people to go, and I came up with the idea of running the Yorkshire Open Egg Throwing Championships.
Hi, my name's Phil Nedley. I ended up doing the comparing for the show today, and it's a big part of the village lifestyle. It is an amazing crack. We get lots of people from the village, but we get people that's far afield. We've got people from Leeds and Sheffield coming up. We're on holiday, and they all come here and have a really good time. Yeah, there's 2 parts to it. We do an egg Russian roulette.
The Yorkshire Open Egg Throwing Championships, you need to enter as a pair. You need a good catcher, but you all need a good tosser. Some people can throw an egg 50 metres, but it's not many catch one. And the first year when we did it was 2015, and it just happens that the winners was Beth Mead and her friend Rachel Laws. They both played football for Sunderland. We'd love to get her to come back, but we'd rather she was playing football for England in the Euros.
It all started there, didn't it? She got egg on her face. Paul's here now. Paul, we spoke lots about reservoir levels last week. You've got some news for us now.
Yeah, about the National Drought Group. I'll explain that in a minute, but I've just got some spectacular pictures to show you. Aerial pictures from Woodhead Reservoir. Anybody travelling from Yorkshire across to Manchester would have been quite shocked by these pictures. They were taken at the end of last week, and although we've had a little bit of rain in the last couple of days, reservoir levels remain very low. Now, the National Drought Group is made up of relevant government agencies and affected groups such as water companies. Now, they were due to meet in October to discuss next year's reservoir levels, but they've pulled it forward to tomorrow, and they're discussing a strategy, because it's not just a problem in Yorkshire, it's across the UK now. We heard from Yorkshire Water 2 weeks ago what that strategy might be. They wanted customers to reduce demand. Failing that, a couple of options they've got is taking more water out of the rivers. I mean, for example, they already take water out of the River Ouse and pump it into Eckert. Well, they can't take any more because river levels are so low. So the next option could well be restrictions. That might be in the form of hosepipe bans. So we're not really expecting anything concrete to be announced tomorrow, but it just shows how serious the situation is because of the prolonged drought. And I took a picture today which is really interesting, and many of our viewers will have noticed this. This was a tree outside Leeds, and you've probably noticed it's more akin to October. The trees and plants are under such stress with the dry weather that they're beginning to lose their leaves.
I've noticed that a lot in our garden,
yes, absolutely. So thanks for sending your pictures in. There's a couple more to show you, because actually there were a few showers around today. That was Scarborough this morning, a spectacular picture there. Thanks for sending that in, Andrew. And the second picture is, I love the colours there in Sheffield. A brilliant picture there. Keep the pictures coming in. Paul the Weatherman on Instagram, Twitter at Hudson Weather, and on the Weather Watcher website. So let's have a look at the headline for the next 24 hours. We have got a little bit of rain in the forecast, but nowhere near enough to sort of get rid of this prolonged drought. We're in high pressure in charge. It's a weak area, so it means that showers could develop. For example, Thursday could be a focus of showers, but rainfall amounts in general will remain very low. Now we're looking up to the north. We've got a weak weather front that is currently bringing some showery rain across North Yorkshire. That will sink southwards through this evening, fizzling as it does so, and from the north we will see clearer skies for a time, with temperatures coming in at around about 11 or 12 degrees. So tomorrow's high water time, Scarborough 3:31, Bridlington at 4 o'clock. So a fairly cloudy day to come on Tuesday. That cloud could be thick enough to produce 1 or 2 showers, and then slowly through the afternoon and probably into the evening, the cloud will begin to break up some sunshine. Still the hint of 1 or 2 isolated sharp showers, but as you can see from the graphics, many of us will remain dry. Top temperatures just a little on the cool side tomorrow. We're looking at an onshore breeze close to the coast. Hopefully the temperatures will come up. I think my clicker has malfunctioned. There we are, 19 in York, 19 in Doncaster. If we have a look at the further outlook, Wednesday, Friday, dry with some sunshine. There's that hint of showers on Thursday and a bit of patchy rain later in the weekend. That is the forecast.
Thank you very much, Paul. Well, that's it from us. Ian White is here with your late news, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye for now.